Openclaw memory breaks, tokens quietly burn, and one day the whole thing just stops working for no reason you can find. And most people think that means they're doing something wrong, but it doesn't. It means you've hit one of the 7 problems that basically everyone runs into. I'm a software engineer. I've hit all 7 myself. Everyone cost me time, and a couple of them cost me real money before I found the fix. I've dug through the actual architecture, and by the end of this video, you'll have the exact fix for each one. Starting with the most common, memory, where I'm going to clear up something you've probably been told wrong. No long intro. If you're finding this tool right now, let's fix it. Number 1 by a mile is your agents forget. Openclaw memory fix is one of the most searched things about this tool. So if this is you, you're not alone. If your agent forgets things from a few days back, re-ask what you already told it, or recall just feels unreliable. To fix it, you only need 3 pieces. The main thing to remember is this: your memory is just markdown files on disk. Memory.md is your long-term memory, durable facts and preferences, and it loads at the start of every session. Daily note files hold short-term context, no hidden database, no magic. The agent only remembers what's written into these files. The second piece is core. Core is the built-in memory engine. On by default, its job is to index those files and search them. For most people, core is fine out of the box, but it's the basic option. The third is QMD. QMD is the upgrade, a local search engine that plugs in behind your memory and does a far better job of finding the right thing. Better search, better ranking, and it still runs completely locally, so your memory never leaves your machine. That's the whole QMD versus core decision in one sentence. Core is the default, QMD is the serious setup. So here's the fix. Make sure your durable facts are actually landing in memory.md. Turn on dreaming, and it promotes the important stuff there for you automatically, because that's off by default. And if the memories are in the files but the agent still can't find it, that's a search problem, not a memory problem. Upgrade from core to QMD and recall gets dramatically more reliable. The mistake to avoid: dumping everything into memory.md so nothing's ever lost. Don't do that. That file loads every session, so bloating it wrecks your context and your cost. Keep it high signal. Here's a pro tip: put your workspace under Git. It's all markdown, so you can see exactly what your agent remembers and roll back anything it saves wrong. And that's it. Problem 6 is the other memory issue. One open loop before we move on issue. Not forget between sessions, but falls apart in the middle of one. But first, next is problem 2, burning tokens in the surprise bill. This is when you build something that works, you let it run on real work, and then the bill lands and your stomach drops. I had a setup that was costing me $500 a month before I fixed it. I got it to $6. You've got the same problem if costs feel unpredictable. If one overnight run costs far more than expected, or if you're honestly a little scared to let the agent run unsupervised, that fear is the tell, and it's the #1 reason people panic quit this tool. Here's why it happens: you're pointing your most expensive model at everything, and if you've left the money taps open, this is a checklist. Run all of it. 1. Turn off pay-as-you-go and auto-recharge. Uncontrolled payments is how a hobby project quietly becomes a $200 a month project. Use prepaid or capped billing. 2 is set a hard spend cap on every provider, every single one. I've seen 30 million tokens burn in a single day before caps were on. 3. Route model by task. Heavy reasoning gets your top model, routine writing gets a mid model, and light high volume work gets a small or local model. 4, and here's the part that most people miss: route the heartbeat, the background agentic loop, to a cheap or local model. The classic "why is this burning tokens when I haven't even used it" mystery is almost always the heartbeat reusing an expensive long thread. 5. Delete rogue cron jobs. Every scheduled task should have a reason you can say out loud. 6. Cap runaway goals and orchestrator loops with iteration or time limits. The mistake to avoid: ripping out your best model everywhere to save money, then wondering why the agent got dumb. It's not cheapest everywhere, it's routing. Cheap or local for the routine, powerful for the hard stuff. Pro tip: give each major agent its own API key. Then your spend dashboard breaks down by agent, and you can see exactly who's expensive instead of guessing. And that's it. Problem 3, an insecure setup. And this is the one nobody wants to think about until it's too late: security. Plenty of people search Openclaw security, land on a video that doesn't answer it, and bounce. So let me answer it properly. Openclaw can run shell commands, hit the network and read and write your files. That's the point, that's the power. But it also means a sloppy setup is a lot of access with no guardrails. You're exposed if your gateway has no authorization, if your keys are sitting in a config file, or if your agents run unsandboxed with your email, your files, and a live internet connection. Here's the checklist. Make sure you go through each item. 1. Turn on gateway token authorization. This has been updated recently as the default for Openclaw, but if it's off, it means anyone who reaches the port controls your agent, and this is the single most common live vulnerability. 2. Bind to localhost only, unless you're deliberately exposing it through a VPN like Tailscale. And 3 is move every API key into environment variables or a secrets manager. No keys in config files ever. Keys in config end up in Git, and keys in Git are leaked keys. 4. Set a plugin allow list and remove any third-party or ClawHub skills you can't read. Downloaded community skills are a real source of vulnerabilities. 5. Add anti-prompt injection rules to your agents.md. If your agent reads web pages or email, it's an injection target, so tell it explicitly to ignore instructions hidden inside content it retrieves. 6. Restrict the channels that can issue commands to just the ones you use. 7. Sandbox it. Run the agent under its own user account. And for anyone non-technical who needs access, give them a Docker sandboxed read-only agent, not the keys to your whole machine. The mistake to avoid: assuming it's just running on my machine, so it's fine. The moment it touches the network or your inbox, it isn't, and that's it. Problem 4, it's slow. Every response takes forever, and the tool that's supposed to save you hours is making you wait. This is you if responses that used to be quick now crawl, if it gets more sluggish the longer a session runs, or simple tasks take way too long. There are 3 usual suspects. 1. Memory bloat, and this is the big one. If you've accumulated thousands of memory files, the agent is dragging a mountain of context into every turn before it does anything. I've seen setups with 5,000 markdown files sitting at 40,000 tokens of context just to start. 2. Every skill and plugin loaded at once, including the ones you never touch. 3. A heavy model on tasks that don't need it. The fix is subtraction. De-bloat your memory so your cold start context is small and sane. This is where keeping memory.md high signal from problem 1 pays off. Trim the skills you're loading to what the agent actually needs and match the model to the job. A fast, light model on a simple task feels instant next to a heavyweight. Most slow Openclaw setups aren't underpowered, they're overloaded. I didn't buy a bigger machine, I made the agent tighter. Pro tip: if you run multiple agents, check whether they're running one after another when they could run in parallel. Sometimes slow is 5 agents politely waiting in line for absolutely no reason, and that's it. Number 5 is it won't start. You launch it and get a wall of red instead of an agent. This is for the Openclaw not working crowd. I've been there before. The good news is it's almost always one of a handful of things: a missing or wrong environment key, a config typo, or a setting that got renamed in an update while you're still referencing the old one, a version mismatch usually right after an update, a port already in use, and one people don't expect: ghost files from an old install. If you've been tinkering for weeks, leftover config and workspace directories from a previous version cause weird unfixable behavior, and the built-in uninstall doesn't fully clean them. Here's how to diagnose it instead of guessing. Read the logs. I know it sounds obvious, but people panic and start randomly changing things. Don't. The error usually tells you which one it is. Then work the list. Confirm your environment keys, validate your config against the current format, check your version, check the port. Reading the log is what turns a 2-hour panic into a 2-minute fix. The mistake to avoid: reinstalling from scratch as your first move. Usually it just wastes an hour and recreates the same problem. Read the error first. Okay, so let's move to problem 6. This is the other memory problem I promised. Not forgot between sessions, but falls apart in the middle of one. It starts sharp, then somewhere in a long task, it gets confused, repeats steps, and forgets what it already did. This is you if long tasks degrade the deeper you get, if the agent loop, or if quality quietly falls off a cliff mid-task. That's context bloat. The context window fills up, and instead of clean working memory, the agent is wading through a swamp of its own history. It's not getting dumber, it's getting overwhelmed. The fix has 3 parts. 1. Turn on compaction so the agent summarizes and trims as it works instead of hoarding every message. 2. Lean on your memory files instead of live context. Remember from problem 1, durable facts belong in memory.md, and core or QMD will pull them back when needed. So the agent doesn't have to carry everything in the conversation. Keep long-term rules where they belong. Keep memory.md high signal and let search do the recall. 3. Scope your tasks smaller. A giant open-ended go do the whole thing prompt fills context fast. Cleaner stages keep the agent sharp end to end. Compaction, memory instead of context, tighter scope, and the mid-task meltdown just stops. So number 7, the advanced one, and honestly why a lot of you are here. You build a multi-agent system and the agents don't cooperate. They step on each other, duplicate work, or just sit there waiting. This is you if subagents produce conflicting or duplicate output, if the system stalls with agents waiting on each other, or if your team somehow gets less done than one agent would. Here's the core mistake, and almost everyone makes it. People spin up a handful of subagents with no real orchestrator and no defined roles. That's a team with no manager and no job descriptions. Of course, it's chaos, and the fix is 3 things. 1, real orchestrator whose job is to delegate, not 5 equal agents freelancing. 2, give each subagent a specific scoped role, a researcher, a writer, a reviewer, clear lanes, not 5 generalists reaching for the same task. 3, isolate their workspaces so they're not fighting over the same files or state. And one guardrail from earlier that matters double here: cap your orchestrator's agentic loop with iteration or time limits. A multi-agent goal with no stop condition can run for hours and burn the whole time. Get those right and it clicks into a system that actually runs while you sleep. And that's it. A quick recap. Let's run them back fast. 1, memory that sticks, durable facts in memory.md, dreaming on in QMD for serious recall. 2, cost under control with caps, routing, and a cheap heartbeat. 3, a genuinely secure setup, gateway auth, keys and env, sandboxed. 4, fast by making the agent lighter, not bigger. 5, a clean start by reading the logs first. 6, no mid-task meltdown with compaction and tighter scope. 7, a multi-agent system that actually cooperates. Fix those 7 and Openclaw stops being something you fight and starts being what it's supposed to be, something that quietly does your work while you run your business. One last really important thing: no fix on this list, no config setting, and no model choice matters as much as this. Understanding the fundamentals of multi-agent systems is the single most important factor for getting real value out of any tool. Get the fundamentals right and the tool almost disappears. If you want the full PDF guide on these 7 fixes, you can find it for free in our school community. The link is in the description. If you want to learn in depth how to build multi-agent systems that drive real value, make sure to like and follow. I read every single comment, and I'll see you in the next video.